to allow you to give her the great big San Francisco welcome she deserves. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Natasha Lyonne! Oh, great. Her microphone doesn't work. And her chair is busted. Oh my God.
I just want to say so far things seem to be going really, really well. And I feel like the microphone and the chair was definitely planned. Thank you for that.
I don't even know what to say.
Listen.
Other than, I think they meant that for me.
I'm just glad I wore underwear. And, it's on nights like this that you're really like, I made a smart decision when I did that. And that could have gone a whole other way.
Oh my God, that is so terrifying.
Were you?
Well, that exact same thing happened to me once, but for different reasons. It happened on the set of All About Evil, and I was so horrified that I actually said to the script supervisor, "Can we keep this between us?" And he said yes, and then they replaced the chair, and I never talked about it again.
I do think on some level, let's be honest, that was so incredible with the pre-show and clip reel. Maybe it was really for the best, so I didn't lose the plot. Really, drink my own Kool-Aid, so that's good.
The reality of it is, you can get a trick chair, and Natasha Lyonne, you still look flawless, okay?
Hello, Peaches.
Hi, it's so
Thank
nice to see you again.
It's so nice to see you. It's so nice to be back in the Castro.
Yeah.
I love this theater. That pre-show was something else.
Wasn't it?
Oh, it was pretty incredible.
Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about Cheerleader, but I'm going to save it for a little bit because I wanted to dive right into some of the other stuff because, of course, since we made our movie together, a lot's happened. You've made a lot of movies, and you've starred on a TV show.
Yeah. I just want to say hi to my friend Samira Wiley, who's here tonight. Who plays Hussein on why don't you stand up?
Get a spotlight on you. And also Lauren Morelli, who writes the show. So that's kind of no small potato. No, without the writer, there's no show.
Without the writer, there's no show.
Yeah.
It would just be me and Wiley,
Now,
walking around with our fingers, not knowing where to put them. Essentially.
I had to start with it because I know I am a huge, huge fan of Orange is the New Black. I'm so thrilled for you. And I knew that the audience would be filled with fans of Orange is the New Black. So can you tell us anything about what's happening with the show? Have you guys shot another season?
Oh yeah, there's another season inside of the can, which is a term. And
It's an industry term.
yeah, it's some people say in the can, but I'm like, I feel like it's a little casual,
Yeah.
It's inside of the can.
And it's not really, because that refers to film, you guys. They used to shoot on film.
Yeah.
You and I know these things.
I do. When I was a kid, back when I first started making pictures, they used to check the the gate, you know?
Yeah.
And now they check the chips.
That's
And
right.
that's the history of show business.
Well, you know, another fan favorite, I'm sure, is actually when you were a kid. What was your first TV show? I'm pretty sure I know the answer.
Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah.
So what was it like being a kid and being in the Playhouse with Pee Wee Herman?
Well, I love Paul Rubens, who I've actually, you know, got a chance to know better as a grown-up, I think. One steak dinner in particular that we had, that was great. Such a nice time. And as a kid, I just really remember it as more of like an extracurricular activity. I don't think I really had a way of distinguishing that it was a job so much as like, oh yeah, it makes sense that I should go here and be in this playhouse and look through the little, you know, where the dinosaurs live in there. And just be confused by the dinosaurs and the big tinfoil ball and like, give me my piece of tinfoil, you know, I'm like fighting with the other kids, like I want the tinfoil. It was just like this great experience that we had.
Yeah.
I also remember, you know, I grew up in an Orthodox but damaged home, but the important thing is that they didn't watch TV on Saturday because so much else was right. And I remember my mother would be like, sneak me in to watch Pee-wee's Playhouse on Saturday morning, and it was like this big crime against God. And it was like the highlight of my youth, you know, getting to watch the show.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I was watching it too, but of course, you know, I wasn't on it. I was jealous of you.
Thank you.
But I was also a lot older.
Yeah. So many incredible people on that show. Lawrence Fishburne.
Well, have you ever seen his Christmas special? The Pee Wee Christmas special?
I think I have, yeah.
Where it's like Dinah Shore, Oprah Winfrey, Grace Jones, Katie Lang.
Yeah.
A lot of icons the women in this room would appreciate. The Del Rubio triplets, lesbians galore.
I mean, really, really ahead of its time. Or really, I don't even know if that's the phrase, just its own time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, rumor is there's going to be a movie, a
Yeah.
new Pee Wee movie. So.
Yeah, I think that's more than a rumor.
Oh,
I think it's
happening.
like an official thing.
Well, we can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll be in it.
If I play my cards right.
Yes. I think you're doing that. Yes. So as a teenager, you know, I really remember Slums of Beverly Hills. Just blowing everyone away. How old were you when you shot Slums?
I don't know. I mean, that was before, but I'm a cheerleader, right? So I think it's like, and then I'm confused because on the way over, you know, Jamie was telling me that, but I'm a cheerleader in 1997. So I don't know if that math adds up. I'm gonna be honest with you, I just feel like the whole thing, like the 90s were such a blur. It's hard for me to like know exactly. But I roughly 18, 19, the whole thing is like 17, 18, 19. A lot of chaos. A lot of, yeah, I just, but there's, I mean, I love those movies, so I'm so glad I made them, and the film, all that was a real achievement.
That's really an amazing achievement.
Yeah. I love Slums of Beverly Hills. I love those people, I'm still so in touch with them, you know, Kevin Corrigan, and Marissa Tomei, David Krumholtz. You know, I run into Alan Arkin once in a blue moon. I wish I, you know, had a deeper relationship with him, but he's incredible. He's always so nice. I got a chance to work with Rita Moreno again. She's great. Carl Reiner doesn't really call me a ton.
No.
I would love if he did. I'd love to be pals with Carl Reiner, but
His loss. And Tom Richmond is the director of photography on that film and did such a brilliant job, and he's who introduced us. He's the director of photography on All About Evil.
Yeah.
And Tom put us in touch, and we both love Tom.
Yeah, I love Tom. I love Tom because Tom would do this thing on Slums Beverly Hills before he shot our movie, All About Evil. He would like lift the camera up like for steady cam shots. He would always just go like punk rock muscles, and he would just be like sweating buckets. And I started doing that years later when I couldn't explain why I was moving something clearly too heavy when I'm like, yeah, punk rock muscle. But I don't even know what that meant. And when I tried to remind him of it, he looks at me like, and it was so that it's so vivid to me that he was always saying that.
That's
to
good.
like justify the impossible.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that story.
Thanks.
Yeah. And one thing about Natasha that I think is actually really unique and worth mentioning, because when people ask me about you and, you know, we talk about you coming and doing the movie, you say, oh, it must have been so strange for her, you know, entering this bizarre world. And I'm like, actually, if you think about it, she'd already done Party Monster with a bunch of drag queens, kabuki did the makeup, and you had done Die Mommy Die with the fantastic Charles Bush. So it wasn't like you hadn't been around drag culture before.
No, and I'm from New York City, so you know, I left the house as a youth, and so you know, all kinds of things, really. I was not, like certainly, you know, obviously John Waters, who's a friend of yours. So I don't even feel like the concept as a result of like, you know, drag queen in a movie would be like equal a good thing based on that. and I don't know, like in terms of Party Monster, obviously that's the Michael Alec story, and I do remember that there was, you know, quite a bit of sort of these rave things that I would do in the 90s in New York, and certainly there was like a whole scene of that happening all the time.
Right.
Like a lot of like late nights, like a lot of like sort of 24, 48-hour days spent and sort of watching somebody applying a lot of mascara.
Well, I know we started with Orange is the New Black and then went to Pee Wee, but I did want to congratulate you on your brand new award as of Saturday, right?
Oh yeah.
Best ensemble cast. So
I know, it's incredible. Wiley got one too.
Congratulations.
No, I mean it's really something else. So and it's actually very fun, that kind of a thing, and you're like, holy shit. This thing is so heavy and so real. It's very substantial. In the right lighting, it casts a shadow on the wall. It looks like 8 times the size. It's incredible. An award.
I saw your picture.
Yeah.
You guys should all follow Natasha on Instagram.
Yeah.
I saw your shadow. It's very artistic. This
Thank you.
statue creating the shadow.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. And you were also nominated for an Emmy Award for the first season.
Yeah, yes. I mean, this whole ride, I will say, you know, obviously I've been around for, I got my SAG card in 1985. So it's really been a second, and I was not anticipating, you know, this whole kind of journey to be, to have this second leg that's so exciting, and, you know, that show is incredible. So that fucking Orange is the New Black, I don't know what to tell you. Very lucky.
I mean, I'm just gonna put it out there, but it's like a dream of mine to maybe someday be invited to the set, just because, I mean, I don't know if that's awkward for you to hear that dream, but,
No, this is the settings. I mean, it's not like you have my cell phone number and you couldn't text it or whatever. You want to do it here. Yeah, that would be great. I would love to have you. I'm gonna set that. I'm just gonna text them now.
I can
when I
come
sit
dressed
down.
as you, if you'd like, in this outfit, but it's like Lea Delaria, Laverne Cox, I mean, just unreal, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing.
Real heavy hitters. I mean, it really does seem though like the success of the show. It speaks to, you know, hopefully good news and, you know, tide changing, and I mean, it's just so popular, kind of. It's a says a lot about, things moving in a good direction.
Well, Laverne being on the cover of Time magazine,
Yeah.
how fucking awesome is that?
Yeah. And she's really incredible, and just, a heavy-duty person. I mean, it took a lot for her to get to the place that she's at today, and just being so in her body and kind of, to watch somebody sort of getting so much reward for being their actual self is a very nice thing to witness.
Yeah.
In a life, it's a nice thing to witness hypocrisy. Because I don't think that sort of comfort in one's own skin is not an easily won sort of battle, just internally, let alone outside judgment. Just coming to terms with, just being yourself in any capacity is, I think, always a bit of a challenge for a person. And so it's just incredible that show really represents this swath of just women across the board at all ages and sizes, whatever. It's a very specific thing.
Did I ever tell you my Laverne Cox story?
No, please do.
Okay, do you guys want to hear it? So I'm watching the show and I'm like, I know her, but I've never met her. I can't. And we had talked about it before the show aired, so I was thinking how do I know her? And then they do the flashback sequence, and her twin brother plays her in the flashback, who's an old fellow performer of mine at Tranny Shack here in San Francisco. So I'm watching it and I'm like, there's Reginald Lamar playing Laverne and, in the flashback, which was so, and then of course I remembered how I met Laverne and she used to come to Tranny Shack and, it was just a weird, small world moment.
And she used to come and watch her brother.
Yeah, the Grand Negress Godiva. That was his drag name. He's actually going to be here at SFAI performing a show later this month. Plug for Reginald. Small world.
It's a tiny, tiny world. And it's not even that small, so it's incredible.
Yeah. So can you give us any secrets about season 3? This would be a secret.
What do you guys want to know? I mean, should we just open it to the audience and it gets, because Laura Morelli, like I said, is here who writes the show, so she could get really detailed.
Spill the beans.
On just anything specific
Just lay out the
anybody
season.
might want to know. Whatever, who lives, who dies, who has sex with who. Because they decided that there was so much secrecy around it, and that's just become too trendy. All these shows being so secret. So they were like, fuck it, let's just tell everybody everything they want to know. Give them no joy in watching it for themselves.
Right.
And so that's the new thing.
I agree.
But Netflix is always ahead of the pack.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of have to watch it all really quickly, or you just learn too much.
What I struggle to understand is it seems it's 13 hours, and yet it feels like somehow people are watching it about 2.5 hours later. I just don't understand, just in terms of the space-time continuum, I just don't understand how it's possible, and yet it's just that way.
Maybe they put it on fast forward, and just watch it really
Maybe
quick.
that is what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because they have screen grabs of the, final episode.
If nothing else, the internet has shown us how fucking weird people are, It's just what are you doing?
How wonderful is that? What great news is that?
Makes me feel better about all this. So of course, we're here to honor this iconic cult movie, and we have another special guest here tonight. So we want to bring her up so we can talk about the fantastic film we're about to watch. So without further ado, here in the audience, coming up to the stage, we have the writer and director of But I'm a Cheerleader. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jamie Babbit.
Are you guys going to give her that same chair? Jamie, you sit over there, okay? I'm not fucking sitting in that fucking chair. I'm telling you right now.
I'm gonna do it. Hi, Jamie.
Hi guys.
How are you?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for making But I'm a Cheerleader.
It's an awesome pre-show, and it's so weird when you make a tiny movie that the most random decisions then you see 15 years later a stage show based on those random decisions. Very bizarre, but so cool. It's like making a weird piece of art that you wonder if anyone's ever going to see or appreciate. So it's such a gift to be here 15 years later, thinking of all these weird, characters or just weird stuff that happened on the set that has then lived on. It's awesome. So thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, this was like a properly low-budget movie, right?
Yeah, this was a very low-budget movie. I had made a short film starring Clea, who was the first person who was attached to the movie.
Incidentally.
And Clea was actually the one who got Natasha involved, because I was looking for the Megan, and Clea said, oh, I've been hanging out with this chick. I keep seeing her in auditions and stuff, and we're driving around, and she saw the script for But I'm a Cheerleader, and she was asking me about it, and what do you think about Natasha to play the part? And I was like, that would be amazing. She's so funny. She doesn't really seem like a cheerleader. She seems kind of like a punk rock, Janis Joplin type. But I was like, I want to meet her because she's super funny, and I bet she would be great. So I thought, Natasha's definitely going to come to this coffee that we're going to have as a cheerleader. She'll come, like most actors, where they dress in a preppy outfit or something and try to convince you that they're the part. So I fly to New York, which was hard for me because I had 1 cent in the bank. And I go to this coffee shop to meet Natasha in the East Village, and she shows up and she's wearing fishnets, combat boots. As you know, she has usually very curly hair, which was about as big as Peaches' wig. And I was like, wow, she really went all out to impress me that she could play a cheerleader.
Jamie, I gotta level with you. This is the first I'm hearing of any meeting. Okay, I don't remember it. But when I say I don't remember, I don't even mean it in a funny way. I mean, literally, what I remember is driving around with my new best friend, Clea Duvall, being she's so cool. I don't have a license or a car, and how cool that she drives me everywhere. And look at that face, look at those lips and that jaw, look at that little nose. I mean, Clea Duvall, Jesus Christ. And then I just remember seeing a script on the passenger seat floor, and I was like, what's this movie? But I'm a Cheerleader. I was like, what is this? She's like, I'm about to go make that movie. Can I be in the movie? And then,
Literally.
And then the next thing I remember is being in some weird bungalow in West Hollywood, and we were rehearsing.
There was a meeting. I think she didn't know what movie she was meeting on. That's how she was like, wait, what? What do I have to play a cheerleader? No, but you were like, wait, I actually don't know if you had read the script. And then I said, yeah, it's gonna be this movie, it's gonna be really cool, and you'll get paid 1 cent. But Clea's in it, and she's really hot, and I know you like that. And then I was like, and the other thing is that I just cast your parents, and your parents are gonna be Bud Cort and Ming Stoll.
Yeah.
Natasha was like, wait, who did you say? And I was like, Ming Stoll and Bud Cort. And Natasha was like, I'm in, I'm doing this movie. I fucking love those actors. If they can be my parents, I'll do the movie.
I love Bud Cort and Ming Stoll. Just such a big fan of Bud Cort and Brewster McCloud. I remember, especially then, that was one of my favorite teenager movies. And Ming Stoll, come on. Yeah, but I just don't remember it that way. I mean, that's a nice story. I don't even remember having a meet for the part.
Now you know what the experience of making But I'm a Cheerleader was like. Oh, I wanted to tell you one thing. So after the meeting where I was like, Natasha's hair looked like Jesus Christ's hair right now, I was like, we gotta get Natasha in a wig. So she's actually wearing a wig in the whole movie.
It's a back piece, or whatever is the
not.
technical term.
Well, it's there's this
Yeah.
in your hair.
There was this, the front is my hair, and then the back.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
you know
actually Yeah, we changed the wig, so you'll notice in the high school hallway scenes, it's kind of a bad wig, and then we were like, oh shit, this looks really bad. So then we changed it.
Well, what happens is I think it goes from like orange to blonde or something.
There's some transformation.
I have to say, I met Jamie a few years back at Akbar, and we talked about Natasha's wig, but I'm a cheerleader. So getting ready for this event, I studied like every frame. I was freezing it, and I was like, I know Jamie said it was a wig, I know. So I could tell that there was a back piece, but I thought the front was a wig, and I was like, that's the most fucking flawless wig I've ever seen. How did they get that lace front to like I was zooming in.
It wasn't.
Well, and I remember back then I was
the hair person.
the hair person. Oof. And I remember like I was very into like minimizing the amount of time I had to wake up in the morning. So I'd be like, I don't even remember why, I was like really, really tired in the morning. So I would just like try to keep that hair there and just like leave all the clips in and, you know, for the week.
You had like cornrows.
Yeah,
hair, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it's the hallway scene when she's walking down the hallway and she says, she goes to the locker and Michelle Williams is there and sees the stuff at the locker. That's where the wig, that's how the hair person got fired, was from that scene. Then it got better.
That's so good.
I was just gonna try to think of one other thing, if you don't.
Well, I feel like there's a great story about,
sex scene.
Oh, the sex scene is the story you like so much. Because, you know, you're obsessed with that stuff.
I want to hear the sex scene story, don't you?
But there's also that other story about us in Palmdale and like protests and remember?
Yeah, but
you don't like
gay
that
people
story?
know that we're always protested. We got protested in Palmdale because they thought "But I'm a Cheerleader" was a porn butt.
I still like that story. That story gets me every time, Jamie.
But it wasn't like I could explain to them what the movie was and then they would be fine, because it's actually the center of like the KKK. It's a horrible place, Palmdale. So it was, we just tried to get in and get out. But as far as the sex scene goes, I was really excited to shoot the sex scene, and Leah and Natasha had so much energy together that I was like, well, this is gonna be great. And so I shot listed and I had all these great ideas, and I had a lot of gay sex, so I'm excited to film it. And so then we get there the next day after I've like thought about it and figured it all out, and I have a meeting with Leah and Natasha, and it's like 6 a.m. in some shitty place downtown LA. And I'm like, okay, cool, so this is how I'm gonna shoot it, so you guys should just like come to set in a towel or whatever, and then we'll just like start. And Natasha's like, I'm not taking my fucking clothes off. And Clea's like, I'm not taking my clothes off. Like, you have to put that in our contract. And I'm like, well, oh, really? And I was like, but it's a sex, they have sex. Like, you have to have sex with your clothes off. And they were like, no, we're not doing that. So I was like, how am I gonna shoot a sex scene with you guys with your clothes on? And the clothes they had were those like really stylized pink nightgown things where they look like they're like 10 years old. I was like, this is the most unsexy sex scene. Like, no one's gonna believe I'm a lesbian. This is horrible. These women are ruining my career. And I'm like, this is horrible.
You're welcome.
So the DP was like, okay, Jamie, I have an idea. Let's just shoot this in the dark. And if we don't have any lights on, I'll just do like a couple lights. We'll make it really, really dark, and you won't be able to tell that they have their clothes on. And I was like, oh, that's such a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. So that's literally the reason that the sex scene is so dark. And then...
And so sexy.
And then I got an NC-17 rating, which was the most ridiculous thing in the world. And when the ratings board called me, they were like, we really like the film, but you did get an NC-17. And I was like, why? It's like a G-rated movie. It was made for kids. Which really it was, in my opinion. And for like high schoolers, that's like what it was for. And they were like, well, you know, we can tell that there's some hardcore sex in the darkness, and that you've made it so dark that you're trying to trick us. lighten the sex scene. I had to literally lighten it just so they could watch it that way, and then I darkened it again, but just so they could see that literally it was actors fully clothed, like going like nothing's happening.
That is a good story. Yeah. So, I mean, the other thing we haven't talked about is the rest of the cast. It's like RuPaul is in this movie, like Kathy Moriarty is in this movie. I mean, it's just, how did you get such an incredible cast? Like, everybody's inspired.
Who else? I noticed that the actor Jan, who played Jan, is in the audience, actually right behind where I was.
Can we get a spotlight?
There she is. She's actually the straight one in the movie. Are there any other actors here, by any chance, from the movie? Or crew people? Okay.
We did hear from, well, you both know that Clea really wanted to be here tonight.
Yeah, Clea's shooting in Canada, but she, she didn't really tell him I said hi. She didn't say that, but she really wanted to be here. Yeah.
Well, I guess she is an actress. She might have fooled me. She might have gotten off the phone and was like, fuck that. Yeah, I don't know.
She really wanted to be here. We've been texting all day about it. We're still best friends. We're also friends. Me and Jamie just made another movie together that Carrie Tornetto wrote, who's here tonight. And yeah, we're all pretty tight still. Okay.
So that was a request. That was a request from a lesbian in the audience who just broke that fourth wall for us and yelled, Natasha, tell her we say hi.
By the way, I feel like there was a real missed opportunity that nobody took when you were like, is there anybody else here from the cast? And I'm the asshole. I'm like, yeah, I was in the cast. I'm in your movie. Bring me on stage. Nobody did it though. Nobody did it. Nice people.
So can you tell us about the movie that you guys just worked on together?
We just made a movie called Fresno, where it's sort of Fresno. It's a comedy about two sisters, and it's Natasha is one of the sisters, and the other sister is Judy Greer, and Natasha plays a lesbian again.
Yeah, I don't know how.
And her girlfriend is Aubrey Plaza, who's great. Hopefully we'll be coming to Frameline this summer, so please all come back to the Gastro.
We're looking forward to it, yeah. Can't wait. So, Natasha, how many times have you played a lesbian?
You know what? I have too many to count, really. I want to say at least 20 to 60 times. What a lot of people don't know is that many of my roles are actually perceived straight, and that's not true. To me, they're all lesbian characters. And I don't know. A lot of them are straight to video, though.
But some of those straight to video are my favorites, like Freeway 2. Love Freeway 2.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I did want to give the audience an opportunity to ask you guys questions, if that's okay.
Okay.
Kind of maybe.
You already went.
Yeah. Sorry. One per person. All right. So there are microphones. Are there? No? Do you want to just? This lady set a good example of yelling it out. Yeah. You want me to try that chair, you guys?
I don't feel like.
Natasha,
what?
I've lost weight.
Oh, you look great.
I have not. I've gained so much weight, you guys.
Oh my god, I'm so scared.
I did it.
Okay.
Now, if Lady Bear is in the house, let's bring her up. Have her sit on my lap. See how much this thing can take. Okay, does anyone have a question for Jamie or Natasha? Well, I saw your hand first, because I can't see beyond the fourth row.
Doing Freeway 2 and working with Vincent Gallo?
is great. Real sort of like perfectionist. I remember him getting out there, and I sort of knew him a little bit from New York, and I remember he got to somewhere in Canada, or maybe we were in Mexico. I mean, like the movie he shot it. I'm a really unreliable witness, I guess. But like, the movie he shot in both places, but I feel like he first came,
A little hazy.
I know it's Mexico or Canada. The point is, we were not in New York, okay? And I just remember him getting there, you know. Now, the writer-director of that movie is a real character. Matthew Bright, who also directed the original Freeway with Reese Witherspoon and Kiefer Sutherland. That was, what is that? That's the Little Red Riding Hood. And then we were meant to be not a sequel, a separate thing of We Were Hansel and Gretel, and it was Confessions of a Trick Baby. And anyway, the writer-director was really having a good time. I just remember in Mexico there's a lot of like, you know, pharmacia. And, you know, you can like go anywhere you want, all kinds of shenanigans. Tijuana. And anyway, I just remember Vincent being like cornering me at one point, and I was really enjoying myself there. And Vincent being like, why didn't you tell me, you know, before I got on the plane, like what was happening around here? And I was like, what do you mean, you know, because I was having such a nice time. And like I'm saying, Vincent really likes things, you know, in an orderly fashion, and that's not what that movie was, and that is my story about Vincent Gallo.
Very good.
We had a very nice time at the end. I do remember we were both so pissed off though, because we had not agreed to making a sequel. So I remember we were like really threatening. There was a moment we were really tough. We were like, if you fucking call it Freeway Part 2 and not Confessions of a Trick Baby, we're gonna come down there, we're gonna scratch off the... And I don't remember us following through on that threat, but there was like a moment of heated union. Anyway.
Anyone over here? I don't know. Where are people? Questions? Back there? Yes? Yes?
I think you're an amazing actress, and you have like a really diverse choices of film roles. You're kind of like the female Johnny Depp. I think you make really cool.
And twice as successful.
Exactly, twice as successful lately. So really appreciate that, and then also congratulations. And I love you in Orange is the New Black. It's just amazing. But I wanted to ask you a little bit about working with Marlon Brando.
Oh yeah.
On a scary movie.
Yeah.
And what he did to you, and did you stop him or try to tell him to knock it off?
Oh yeah, you mean when Brando followed me up, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, why would I try and stop him?
He's a legend, so you know exactly. You're lucky.
Yeah. You know, I love Brando, obviously. I mean, who doesn't? And so yeah, just remember what she's talking about. Thank you for saying so many nice things to me. What she's talking about is, I think you guys saw it. There was like when I'm doing the Exorcist, Linda Blair with the Mother Sucks Cocks in Hell. It was the opening of Scary Movie Part 2. It was like the teaser sequence, and originally it was meant to be Marlon Brando and Andy Richter, and Andy stayed, and Brando shot for one day and was ultimately replaced by James Woods because he was so sick and came to work with like an oxygen tank and everything. And you know, at the time he was not doing so well. He died not too long after. But he, you know, had the earpiece, and which is like a real thing, I guess Brando did. And so he would just like, I think because I was in the makeup under the bed, I don't think, because I remember Brando and James Woods, neither person really treated me like I was actually a person in there. I think it was just because the prosthetic makeup was so heavy. And they certainly didn't treat me like I was like a 17-year-old girl or something. And anyway, the story goes on. Brando would just be like listening for his line to be fed to him from off camera of like, the power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ. What? The power of Christ compels you. And while he was doing that, the whole time he was, I think, meant to be in the stage direction, like, he's feeling me up. He's like a pervy priest, because it's a spoof movie. But he just kept on like that for like, the whole day really. Because like, from that, so he was just all day, like, holding on to my tip, being like, just all day, and I didn't know, like, because it had passed that time where I should have initially said, you can remove your hand between takes. And then it was like, if I did bring it up, would it be so awkward for him? Maybe that, like, it had been going on for hours. And frankly, I was just, happy to be there and have this Brando story for you.
That's a really good. I mean, not many people.
Well, I'm sure many people, in fact, have been filmed on my Brando.
That's true.
Yeah.
After that story.
Actually, many. Doesn't he have like 24 children or something? Yeah.
Jesus.
Not from the same woman, I don't think.
So is that second base?
Second, yeah.
Second.
But it's considered a straight to second.
Oh, right. So there was no
Skipping over.
first.
Yeah.
Just jumped over.
No first, no dinner.
Now, I'm hoping that the microphone folks have figured out that they should have another person waiting with a microphone with a question. No? Okay. I was just thinking, like, if I were them, I would put 2 and 2 together and know that Peaches was going to ask someone for a question in just a moment. So maybe this time we can get someone a microphone who has a question and then get someone else a microphone who has a question while they're answering the question. Is that rude?
Smart system.
I already have the microphone. I just wanted to say hi, Natasha. And can I ask you one little favor? It's okay.
I don't want to agree to it anymore.
No. I don't want to ask to fill you up or anything. No, my really good friend Stephanie up there loves you and has been cracking up all night. If you could just say hi to Stephanie for me.
Aww. Stephanie?
She's like up there. And
Stephanie?
Yeah.
Where is she?
I don't know. Stand up, Stephanie. No. Bounce.
Thank you for coming out, Stephanie.
That was a moment, Stephanie, you have an interesting friend.
Maybe codependent, but no big deal.
I mean,
like a good
1,400 people really needed to experience that together for Stephanie, I guess. I'd rather hear more questions about, but I'm a cheerleader, quite frankly.
Oh.
Who's next?
I have a question, but it's not
Oh,
about...
Christ.
I'm not going to embarrass you. My question is about Orange is the New Black. And I don't stream it all at once. I just savor it. I love that show. I will not do it all at once. At any rate, my question to you, Natasha, is when I watch you perform, do the sex scenes, I want to know how you do it without cracking up. I mean, like, I just would be done. I'm watching you and I'm laughing and I'm going, I wonder how many takes this is.
That's your mom.
That's my mom. You actually met her. She came to the cinema about evil.
Didn't you pick out that little thing? That was the...
Oh yeah. She
Yes,
went
I
to Tiffany.
Yes, I did.
Oh God, get the mic away from her, my lord.
Hello, how are you? I do want want to clarify one thing. This seems like the right opportunity to do it vis-a-vis the sex scenes on the show. In the pilot episode well, it's not a pilot, but you know, the first episode, there's a sexy shower scene, you know, my girlfriend, Yael, Lorna. So she's, maybe she's up against the wall of the shower with the boobs, and I'm on my knees, and I just want to clarify, there's been some complaints that it doesn't look like I am performing correctly the oral sex, and I just want to say I'm not actually trying to do oral sex in that scene. It was written in the script as a fisting scene, and nobody had stopped to consider how tricky that was going to be to film without inside camera work. And I'm left looking like the schmuck. And in fact, because they're like, why are you like nibbling her thigh? And I'm like, because my fist is in her and I'm trying to please her. And so I do want to just go on record and clear up that.
I'm glad you clarified, but I honestly don't think you need to, because I actually knew you were fisting her.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I could tell. And I'm watching the show because, of course, I know you. And I'm watching it at home. And this is me, like the church scene or the chapel, you know?
Yeah.
And like her face is definitely touching that woman's vagina. There's no way it's not.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm obsessed with. You know,
Yeah.
like, oh my God, Natasha is a trooper.
Yeah.
You know?
In most cases, I will say, you know, because I don't have a ton of like acting training, because I was doing it since I was a kid, I'm not about to do anything physical. So in most cases, I do think that maybe I'm going inappropriately close to their vaginas, because I don't know how to really like fake it. I'm sure there's like an acting class that teaches you how to like, you know, fake your way through cunnilingus or whatever. Or the camera class, I guess.
Actually, there is a directing trick that you do for actors when they're giving blowjobs.
Okay.
And I direct on looking also, so we also do it.
What's the trick?
It's this. The actor puts their hand like next to the guy's. They always have underwear on usually. And you put your hands. So I'm you, right? And here's the girl. Here's her. You put your hands here so it looks like you're doing something.
Oh, it's your own. First of all, you just changed everything. That is the kind of tip I am going to take deep into the
No,
future.
because it works. If you feel comfortable because you're sucking your own thumbs,
Yeah.
and then your mouth actually looks like you're sucking something. And you
Right, of course. That's really, that's like Houdini. Well, yeah, I've just been mashing my face really close, baby. You know, I'm not eating your pussy, I'm not eating your pussy. You know, that's how I've been doing it.
Well, the best part about this whole experience is all of us now will know on season 4, she's actually licking a thumb clit. You know?
Yeah.
It's flawless.
That's fascinating. All right.
It works.
This is basically inside the actor's studio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do we have any more questions in the audience?
Natasha, you have had so many iconic masturbation scenes.
Thank you.
And
Take
we've
that,
seen
Johnny
so
Depp.
many memorable O faces from you in film and television. Can you tell us about the best real-life orgasm that you can recall?
Hey, listen, lady. All right? Now I just want to say, now you're just getting ballsy. You know what I mean? Thank you for the compliment. And yes, I have done research and have personal experience that have helped me in my performances. I'm not a virgin, okay? Jesus Christ. It's a very personal question. Do you think they ask whoever such a thing? One of the kids from Modern Family, you think we could ask that question? A lot of nerve. Anyway.
I will say, just to deflect so you don't have to answer that, for the masturbation scene in But I'm a Cheerleader, it said in the script, Natasha masturbates. So I had in my head what I look like when I masturbate, and I thought she was going to do it that way. And so she's like, no, I got this. I know what I'm going to do. And I'm like, okay, but you're going to like take up, like, I kind of need to know what you're going to do because I need to know how to hide the nudity because you're going to get a little naked, right? Like you're going to pull your thing up. And she's like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm like, really? How are you going to masturbate if you don't pull your nightgown up? Because I figured out how to film it so I don't see everything. And you're like, no, I'm good. And it was amazing.
What did I do? I don't know.
It was amazing. It was, you'll see tonight. Yeah. It was all her, the way she did it. There was like some nipple thing happening.
Yeah.
There was nipple self-stimulation. That was not in the script.
I think we can all agree you did a great job jerking off in But I'm a Cheerleader.
You're too kind. Too kind.
I was just going to say one quick thing too at the end cheer inside trivia. We actually reshot that because it was originally written my fault as like an elaborate cheer, like what you saw at the beginning of today. And when I did it, I realized Natasha is not a cheerleader. Like she doesn't have that training, and it didn't feel emotional. It just felt like Natasha doing a cheer. It didn't work. So I was like, Natasha, I gotta reshoot the ending on the last day of the movie, but I'm not gonna have anyone there. Like no one else can be there. It's just gonna be you. And so I'll just do a close-up, and it's just gonna be this really emotional cheer. Like say it like a poem, kind of. And forget about like doing acrobatics or like cartwheels or stuff like that. It'll just be like you like speaking from the heart. And Natasha is like will literally do anything for the movie. Like she's amazing and a trooper and very smart and everything you would ever want in an actor and talented. But I really pushed her to the edge because it was the very end of the movie and it was her alone and me and that really like amazing very emotional thing that she does to Clea at the very end of the movie, she's doing to a piece of tape. There's no one there. It was just her, and it's just like very raw, emotional, like, I love you, all that stuff. It was to a piece of tape, and I was like, she's a true pro. So,
All right, I think we have time for one more question because we're going to watch a movie.
That piece of tape went on to win 4 Academy Awards.
Hi, I just wanted to say, first of all, that thank you so much, all of you. You are such an inspiration to me and my friends. We're all like young, gay people, and you guys have just like really helped us a lot. And for Jamie, I was wondering who your favorite character to write on But I'm a Cheerleader was, and for Natasha, if you could play any other character in either But I'm a Cheerleader or Orange is the New Black, or both, who would it be? And Peaches, if you have a character you'd like to play.
Definitely.
I would say probably my favorite character just that inspired the movie was really Megan, so it was Natasha's character. At the time, I had never really seen a movie about a femme lesbian who was the hero. It had always been like the butch as the hero. And that was really important to me, where I was like, I really want to make a movie about a femme who's like a hero and saves a butch. So it was like a weird feminist reversal. I don't know. But yeah, so that I love that character, and I was very, very lucky that Clea brought Natasha into my life and into this role, and for all of us to be here. So.
The question is...
If you could play another part, someone else's part, either Orange is the New Black or But I'm a Cheerleader,
Thank you.
would you? What part would you choose?
Definitely, I remember during shooting of But I'm a Cheerleader, I was just always like, man, Clea's got the fucking, that's the good part, just because I was like so much more, you know, that guy.
I keep asking you against type.
Yeah, you did it to me again just now. Yeah. It's a
But you're
nice
so
game.
good at it.
Thank you. But yeah, so I wanted her part, I remember. It just seemed like it was,
But she was kind of the straight man. You were the comedian. She was more the straight.
yeah, I just remember that she was like, I'm smoking in the movie, and I was like, she's so cool. But smoking, it turns out, is actually really bad for you. Why did I have that wrong? And then, I don't know, I mean, maybe it's just because Samira's here tonight or something, I don't know why, but just like right from the gate, I've just always been, I think it has a lot to do with Wiley herself, but I've always been obsessed with Bruce and always tried to convince them to like, let me have sex scenes with her, all kinds of things, and I don't know why, I just feel like, I don't know, it's just such a cool part, such a cool gay part. Anyway.
I would choose Kathy Moriarty's part.
Oh, yeah.
Cheerleader. I just thought it'd be so much fun to do. She kind of does it like as a drag performer in a sense. Like it's just so wicked and fabulous and hilarious. And I especially love when she is watering those flowers and then throws one on the ground. That's like one of my favorite moments.
The one thing about Kathy is that she had a really hard time memorizing her lines, and so I realized very quickly.
So she kept her hands on my tits the entire time.
That's why she has a clipboard. She has a clipboard with her lines, and if you look at the scenes, she's always looking down at the clipboard. But it's funny things like that, because she was a partier for sure, and I needed that.
And she owns great pizza restaurants.
Yeah, nice. But that's why it's funny, like years later, I saw they were at one point doing a Broadway, adapting it for a musical, and the actor had the clipboard, and I'm like, God, if only they knew why she had that.
That is so great. And honestly, you've shared so many incredible stories that it's going to make tonight's screening super special, just to see it all. Right? I mean, I really can't thank you guys enough for coming. And
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Jimmy Babbit, for being here, writer and director, but I'm a cheerleader.
I just want to say,
Oh my goodness, what if you get electrocuted?
I'm gonna get electrocuted. Before I die, I just want to say thank you, Jamie, and thank you, Peaches, and thank you to all of you guys. And this is just, I can't tell you what that's like as a person to, see your whole life flash before your eyes, and it's so meaningful, and it's a very nice. Thank you.
Well, I want to say to you, especially,
Yeah.
honestly, ladies and gentlemen, this person means the world to me. And so when I invited her to come, I wanted this to be right for you and to celebrate you. And I love her so much. And you have given me so much. And San Francisco is so proud of our movie, and they're so proud of But I'm a Cheerleader. And we love you, Natasha, and I love you. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Natasha Lyonne and Jimmy Babbit, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we're going to clear the stage and move on to the next part of the show. I did want to introduce my cast quickly because they did such a good job tonight and came out and did this. Let's hear it again for Cheer SF and Beatrice Thomas, Jamaica, Kegel Cater, the fantastic Miss Home.